Hi there, Nicole Joseph Cupid, CEO of Business Lifeline Limited, and today we're out here on site with entrepreneur Melbourne Taylor at Taylor's Auto Garage Limited. Welcome to Meet Your Neighborhood Entrepreneur.
Hi.
Melbourne, we want to take the opportunity. We're out in this series meeting with our entrepreneurs, seeing what you do, understanding your story and how you would have ventured into this world of entrepreneurship. Tell us a little bit about what motivated you to become an entrepreneur.
Okay. Well, I always wanted to, own my own business, be an entrepreneur from as far back as I can remember, primary school days, telling my dad that I don't want to have a job, I want to own my own business. And I think from very young I had that in my head, and as I got older, the ideas and the dream kind of changed and was refined, because initially where I started off was landscaping. I was cutting people's lawn, power washing, you understand. Had an opportunity present itself, and I took it and started my own business right after I was finished with O levels. But after probably about 3 years, 4 years into that, I realized that I had a passion for cars, and slowly got into it. One of my first jobs was at a place called Auto Body Works. Then from there, I got a job at Neela Massey in Master Serve and Mover. And so I stayed in the company for a while, and then as I got the opportunity to leave, I felt as though it was time for me to start off my own thing. I started. It was a leap of faith, because I had to leave behind the security of a job and the sure paycheck at the end of the month, and just jump and go for it. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question. At school you studied mechanics?
At school, actually, I was doing a degree in mechanical engineering, right, and manufacturing design, which is mechanical but isn't mechanics.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you started off on a completely different career path,
Yeah.
and then you transitioned based on your passion.
Yes, yes.
Okay, was that an easy decision, or was that a decision that was easily accepted, say, by
No.
your support system?
No, my support system, all of them wanted me to go and do engineering, because my dad was an electrical engineer. And well, I did well in school. I had my 8 O levels. I did CAPE. I got my CAPE diploma, so I passed everything. So everything was kind of lining up to, engineer the conventional ideas of, getting a job. But just something inside of me just never wanted that for myself. Growing up, yes, I had a real good dad, in the sense that he had a good job and he took care of us and stuff. But I always remember, when he would want vacation, he might be able to get it when he wanted. It's basically the company that had control over his time in a way that he didn't have that control, and that was one of the things that I didn't really like, and I was taught, to have my own freedom and work hard at what I like, So yeah, it wasn't a decision that was supported at all. I was actually fought by my family and my support system, until it got to a point where they were able to realize the dream that I had.
Well, that's quite interesting, because normally people or society tend to think that people migrate into mechanics and these things when they're not academically inclined. But in your case, you were doing exceptionally well academically, and yet still you have that passion and that drive to get into mechanics.
Yes.
So that was really awesome, and I'm sure that you would have been faced with quite a bit of opposition.
Yes, I was.
Making that switch. But essentially you would have persevered, which is why we can see and we can have Taylor's Auto Garage today.
Yeah.
How has the journey been for you, say, for the last couple months? I mean, we've been faced with a pandemic, slowing down, all different challenges in 2020. How has that been for you as an entrepreneur?
Well, to tell you how I got through 2020, I would have to tell you about the earlier times, in terms of, I always had challenges, always had things I had to fight through. And I kind of a bit stubborn, so that, you know, all through
bit?
my journey, I always had to be fighting against people that either don't want me to have a garage here, or, you know, stuff like that. So that, for example, when I started off here, I started off with a borrowed socket set from a friend of mine, Stephen Nutnagel.
Wow.
Right, I borrowed floor jack, borrowed jack stands, and where we have concrete here used to be grass. Right, there was a pump city tree right there, and a tarpaulin from the pump city tree to the eve of the house. That's how I started off, in the grass on the side here. And you know, over the years, being able to see how when you stick to something, it grows. You stick to it, be diligent, it grows. This year, when the pandemic hit, it's already in my head. I already, you know, have calluses on my brain. When things get hard, you just have to continue, stick at it, and just have faith and believe that you will get through it. So that when it is the first lockdown came and things were real hard, I mean, my workers and things are sent home, but I have, we call it essential workers as some of my customers, so I still had to open. And just, you know, the first week was very hard. The second week, you know, I ended up having to call back out some of my workers, because of the fact that other places, other garages closed down, and, you know, you have a big need for auto mechanics, because Trinidad full of cars. So you find that during the pandemic, when you would think that, you know, things would have been real slow, things was crazy hectic, because I was open, I was here, and a lot of people still had need to fix their cars. So it actually worked out kind of good for me.
Melbourne, if you were to give advice to a young entrepreneur coming up, what are 3 key things that you would emphasize to them?
I would say you have to know what you want. You had to be definite, and know what you want in terms of the long-term dream. So don't focus so much on how you're going to do what you're going to do. Just focus on what's the end result. You know, what's the things you want, what you want to have in your life. If it is you want to have a big family, if it is you want to have, you know, a 4-bedroom house, or if it is things like that, the long term, what is you're working towards. You always have your reason why, as to why you get up in the morning and keep going. Why, when it is things slow, you hold on, you know. Second important, I would say, which just as important as the first, is having a vision board. Having, you know, this place that you go to you throw up all the things that you want to accomplish, and you write down a date, so it becomes a goal, you know. So set goals and keep working towards it, keep going at it. You might write a date on it, and it might come and go, but just the mere fact that you know what you're going after, you know, God will help you, having faith will help you, you know, and you'll be able to accomplish it. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then it's just having another thing that helped me along the way. Number 3 is I grew up in church, and because of the fact that I grew up in church, I grew up with a sense of faith, and learn how to have faith. Having faith not just in only God, but from being in church, they taught me to have faith in myself, knowing that I'm a child of the Most High, knowing that everything that He created me to achieve in this world, that He already placed on the inside of me.
Right.
You know, from the time I was born. So that, you know, some of the answers, yes, I need to pray when things get hard, but God already placed some of the answers on the inside of me to be able to be creative, to be able to adapt, to be able to fight, you know, when things get tough. So it's really to understand and know that, you know, you have everything that you need to accomplish in this world, God already put it on the inside of you.
So you have your whole toolkit on the inside.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
It did.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you very much, Melbourne, for facilitating us this morning and for all that insightful advice that you would have shared to help someone else along the way.
Yeah.
And we thank you very much for viewing today. Meet Your Neighborhood Entrepreneur. Look out to see who we are going to meet on the next visit. Yeah?